Swati Maliwal, the chairperson of the Delhi Commission of Women, joining us. And Swati, as we were just discussing with Dr. Bedi, that the point about toxic masculinity, in the recent cases that we've seen, be it Shraddha Walkar, the Nikki murder case, and this murder of the 16-year-old, these are cases that have happened after there's been an argument between the couple, after which the man has decided to murder his own partner. So is it a real big problem of toxic masculinity, where in this day and age, men just can't take no for an answer?
I think, of course, toxic masculinity, patriarchy, all of these are a very real problem in the society, and they're just growing. Unfortunately, not much steps are being taken by anybody to counter this. But I think the larger problem that this particular incident and all these incidents are pointing towards is the complete lawlessness in the capital as well as in the country. You see, people are not scared in this country. People feel that they'll be able to get away with any kind of crime against women. And that kind of a messaging in the society is completely emboldening rapists as well as such murderers. You see, this girl, 16-year-old, the way she was brutally stabbed to death, and this man did not even end there. He picked up bricks and then just smashed her head again and again and again. And what is it that all these people, there were at least 13 to 14 people crossing by, and nobody stopped. Nobody tried to help her. So what kind of a society it is? I think this is one of the most scary cases that I have come across in my tenure as a Delhi Commission for Women chairperson. And what I fail to understand is, why is there so much lawlessness and why is there so much insensitivity? Why can't we have strong deterrence against crimes? Why can't we have a system in which there is certainty and swiftness of punishment? You see, this 19-year-old girl who was gang raped and murdered in 2012, that Chawla victim, her eyes, acid was thrown into it. There were alcohol bottles that were inserted in the private parts. But what happened in the end? Those culprits, they walked away free after 10 years because the court pointed out that the Delhi police had not done its investigation properly. So you see what kind of a messaging it is. If you look at the Ram Rahim case, this Ram Rahim is able to come out very frequently. He is a rapist, convicted murderer, but he's allowed to walk away freely. The Bilkis Bano case, those rapists are allowed to walk away freely. So what kind of a messaging are we giving to the society? The messaging is that the government, the police, somewhere is standing with the criminals. And I think that is where the problem lies.
And Swati, even the official data backs what you're saying. The conviction rate in crimes against women is just around 25-26% in our country. So if we are saying that out of 100 people who commit a crime, only 25 end up in jail, then that in itself is a major point that brings out this fear, that just takes away this fear from people, that just makes them believe that they can do anything and get away with it. But when we talk about the society at large, you've mentioned that in the recent cases that we've seen, specifically if we talk about the recent case of the 16-year-old, so many people were passing by and we could see those people watching what's happening and nobody interfered. Nobody could even be seen dialing the police. So where do you think we're lacking as a society? And as much as we blame the law and order, which rightly it should be blamed, along with that, do you think the society needs to be blamed equally for not being sensitized, for not even acting when you're seeing something happening right in front of your eyes?
I met the parents of the girl today, and they come from a very poor family. They live in a slum, and the mother has cried her eyes out, and she's obviously feeling very unwell. But you know, there are two things that she mentioned. She obviously wanted that strongest punishment should be given to the culprits. But there was one thing that she said. She said that, you know, my girl could have been saved, probably. And I think I really resonate that. You see, there were so many men and women. There were some people who did not even turn back. Not even a single person can be seen in that video as calling the police. I think if all of them would have just screamed together at that man, I think he might have lost his guts and he might have run away. The girl could have been saved. So what kind of a society are we living in? What kind of people are these who just go about their business, and even if somebody is dying on the streets, it's okay. I have to reach my office or I have to reach my home. And I mean, how do these people sleep? So I think it's a complete failure of the system as well as the society, and a lot needs to be done with the society. I think a lot also is, I mean, I again find that, because I spoke to many people. I spoke to some people from her nearby area where this girl was also living. So, there is a fear amongst people that if something like this is happening and if they try and intervene, the police will catch them instead. So, you see, there is so much distrust with the police that people are so desensitized to some extent that they just continued. Anyways, whatever it is, if it is distrust with the police, or even if they felt that, this man would attack them instead, nothing justifies what they did. Because you're not human if you're not able to help somebody in need. And this girl was so much in need. I mean, I'm just imagining the scene. This girl must have been screaming in pain, and so much pain, failed to move anybody around. So what kind of a society is this? I think, like I've been saying, the central government has to call an urgent meeting. You see, the capital, I mean, what kind of a message is it for the rest of the country as well as for the world? I mean, it's so sad and shameful. I really think that an urgent meeting needs to be called by the central government. Delhi government should be a part of this meeting. Delhi Commission for Women should be a part of the meeting. Delhi Police should be a part of the meeting. And we need to sit down and discuss how do we make things better. Otherwise, it's one case, then the other case. And on a daily basis, the Delhi Commission for Women itself is receiving 2,000 calls, which are complaints. So how do we move forward? How many girls will have to die when the government will wake up?
Right, Swati, I think you put it very rightly that we need to introspect as a society, and we are failing as a society if we see these cases happening in front of our eyes and don't act. Thanks very much for joining us, Swati Maliwal.